Hello and welcome to Empower Her, the program that inspires and motivates women to achieve their full potential. I am Best, the power of the mind and thoughts, and how your mind can shape your reality. You can only go as far as your mind lets you. What does this mean? It means that your thoughts have a direct impact on your actions, your emotions, and outcomes. If you think positively, you will act positively, feel positively, and attract positive results. If you think negatively, you will do the opposite. Your mind is like a magnet that draws, right? But it's not always easy to do, because we all have limiting beliefs, fears, doubts, and negative thoughts that who learn to master our thoughts and to use them to our advantage. How do we do that? Well, stay tuned because in this episode of Empower Her, we are going to share with you some tips in this field. She will tell us more about how she helps individuals and business owners master their thoughts and transform their lives and businesses. You want to be here for this. But before we get into that, please follow us on our social media. Visit our website at www.spectrumtv.ng. There, you can find more information about our program, watch previous episodes, and join our community of empowered women. You can also follow me on my personal social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn at Best Mwachinemere, and send me your messages, your feedback. I promise you, I would love to hear from you. And now, let's take a short break. And when we come back, we'll start with a fun activity to demonstrate the power of the mind and thoughts. Don't go anywhere.
Previously on Empower Her.
With what we have right now on ground in our economy, we see that we have more expenses, and those expenses do not meet the income that we are having. So why should women be independent in their finances? Simply so that they can have the opportunity to grow their finances. And when women are empowered financially, they can actually do very well. And if you look at it, it has also made the economy of our state to grow. So for women who have more monies financially, who venture more in businesses and who thrive in businesses, the society as a whole have the opportunity to have a better and healthier economy. So it's imperative. Every woman should.
You already are a founder of an initiative. This was not your first job, obviously. What was your first job? And how did it shape your view about money?
I have just like before we came on set, we had a little bit of
conversation.
and I was just smiling. I won't call myself a serial entrepreneur, but I know I have ventured into so many things that didn't work before I finally found me.
The one that
so I'll say I started with thrift.
Okay.
So they're selling thrift, what we call the okrika, while in the university and all that. So when I go to salon, which happened by chance, it's not like something that I planned. I had this friend that was running a beauty salon and she wanted to leave town and she needed someone to buy it over, like buy everything, the entire salon and all of that. And I had the money at the time.
And so imagine if she hadn't.
She had savings.
Yeah, she had savings. Imagine if she wasn't into the treats and all of those things, and such opportunity arose. She wouldn't have been able to take advantage of it.
So that was what I did. So I did that for some time, and it was time for us to leave town because my husband is actually a pastor. And when we left town, I had to fold up, but I needed something that was more mobile. So I started selling another form of buying and selling that I could move with and all of that. So it's been like that for me until we came back here permanently, and I started with doing some other things. That I ventured into network marketing. From network marketing, I ventured into the sales of engine oil.
Oh wow!
I had to get a company registered because I don't believe over time I had done businesses that I wasn't registered, but this time I needed to make it a little bit professional. So I got a company registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, and then I started. Even with that, I'm also a social entrepreneur. I run Actual Africa initiative where we also empower women with skills and all of that. So
and that's what got my attention.
Yes.
But when you talk about this, you did some businesses that didn't work out.
Yes.
Now I really, really want to ask, what is like the biggest financial mistake you have made?
Can I
Okay.
just chip in
Oh,
here?
feel free.
Okay, because from what she's been saying, it was clear from what she discussed that she had some savings.
Yes.
You know, talking about business, there's more to business and finance, really. When we want to strive to have financial independence, what we must first of all understand is being independent financially just simply means, first of all, you have enough, or someone who is earning a salary. How do you grow to that position where you are now financially independent? Because she mentioned something very key which had to do with she had savings,
Yes.
and that's how she was able to buy up and
Yes.
switch over into a new business.
Yes.
So, but what is always very key, if you look out on the interest, I can
Yes.
tell you in business,
Yes.
we have tried so many things, but the issue is, are we actually growing in these things?
Are we deliberate?
Yes.
Are we deliberate in our growth? So why it's really key, and I'm excited to be here today, is we need to bring things properly into perspective. Now, women, are we taking care of everything? When I say everything, it takes care of your recurring bills, you know, and after that, what is left? What is
Because
left?
you can't really call yourself financially
Independent.
independent if you cannot afford yourself. You have
To
be
even
able
take
to
care of
afford
yourself. Yes,
and then
yes.
have a spare.
Yeah.
That is the only time you can claim financial independence.
That's
because
correct.
I can't say I'm financially independent and I cannot afford, I need something
Simple
for
basics.
myself or anything, and I still have to ask someone else.
Yes.
But you know, it is also important to know, okay, these are the things that I did and they didn't work out. These are some decisions I made and they backfired. Of course, these some people, oh yeah, I did it, so you don't have to.
I think one of the greatest mistake I made was venturing into businesses that I didn't really research on. Like when the beauty business came, I
Okay.
didn't research. It was just an opportunity. I
And
knew
you
there was
grabbed
money
it.
in it, you know, so I just grabbed it. And of course, I made money, but I didn't plan. But what I eventually got to learn is, for you, before you venture into any business, I encourage training a lot. You know, don't just
Very
go into
important.
business
Oh,
and all of
yes,
that.
very
No, so
important.
you attend seminars.
Income.
But right now, from the experiences I've gotten, I'm still attending conferences.
Yeah.
You know, now what I have learned over time is that you need to be deliberate. You need to plan. You need to put your books in place, and if you're more deliberate, I think you make. I won't say more profit, but just like we talked about, you make
You'll
more
be able
savings
to sustain
sustain
that
the growth and all of that. So right now, if you offer me a beauty business, I'll tell you no, because it's not like the past.
Okay.
Even though I was making money, but I know they also dealt with me. No, because I had no real idea. So if you offer me a beauty business now, before I venture, I need to go for training. And I tell people, I keep talking about beauty business because I did it for a long time. Now, before you venture into any business, be sure
Up
day
and
long
leave.
you can comfortably step in, hold your business down while you're scouting for other people. So that's what I did, and that's one of
And
the
that is
mistakes.
very important.
Yeah, it's very important. But
To
right
be-
now, I'm more deliberate. Yeah.
Yeah, that is very important, to be grounded in what you are doing.
Yes.
So if at any point you find yourself, oh, I'm the only one here, you can comfortably, at least to a
So-
certain degree, be able to run your business. But you know, we keep talking about being able to afford yourself, and that is personal. Also talking
that's
about
true.
finance, which is more like a business angle. Balancing your personal, even though they are different, they are also intertwined. So even though, okay, this is me best, I'm a person and I have my needs, and this is my financial life, which is my income, even my expenses, they are all in my financial life. Now, being able to balance it, to be able to live as best, afford myself, and also still have enough left in my pocket at the end of the day, that will say, okay, now I have savings, this is what I have left. How do you manage it? Because go for, I don't know, maybe the week, the day, the month, this is a financial goal, and you would have made it, but because of the pressing need in your personal life, how do you manage that?
You know, when you're saying, I'm just smiling because you see, it's obvious. Education. You have already said that. Educate yourself. Now, educate yourself on budgeting, on saving. What is really budgeting about? You look at the monies that are before you, income. You know, we have just been always emphasizing on business.
Yes.
But you know, there are a lot of us women who are working, from civil servants to those who are working in private sectors. We all earn business here. It's not everybody that is a serial entrepreneur or he's selling something, but the goal is for every woman to be financially independent. So even if I'm running a salary business, or I receive, so I'm running I'm working in a place where I receive salary and I'm having commissions and I'm doing side hustles. Take, for example, a female who works in, she carefully comes to a place of budgeting what comes in. Now, the problem is a lot of us women, we don't consider what comes in monthly. Like we were just discussing at the back, you know, a lot of us don't even put into consideration what we have received in a year. We just are so grateful to God for providing, but we don't consider how much came in. How much did we spend? The reason is because if you don't consider what comes in, for example, if from all these side hustles, the multiple streams of things like you put it, or emergencies, you now end up spending 400,000.
Oh, or your personal shopper tells you that there's a new boot in town,
and there is a time frame.
And you need
Sisters, you are with me.
This
Oh,
is
50%, 50% free or discount, you know, and you just say, okay, let me just buy.
I may not need
And
it
I
at
will
that
now
point.
pay late. So it's, you know, it's just easy to say I'm budgeting, but really in our daily lifestyle, are we really budgeting? So it takes discipline to do that.
Okay.
Now, she talked about saving, how she was able to buy off, you know, the business that was already on a distress sale. And the good thing is she had those savings. A lot of women do not have savings. And if you don't even have savings, you cannot even proceed to the next level of investment. I just take you back. Let me share a petty, and she was posted to a bank, and the bank was near my house. So, and she didn't need to pay transport to the place.
And she didn't also need to pay rent.
She didn't also need to pay rent. But here's the thing. This is what she did that taught me a lesson. What she was being paid at the time, this was 2010, she was being paid 40,000 for an IT in the bank. Good choice. She was not even a teller. She was a front desk staff in the customer service. Very smart, young. Oh, and are you not going to eat at the canteen? And she would just laugh it off. She would say, Faith, I'll be fine. And she would just put up her clothes. She's smart, but she's within her budget. And she worked for 6 months. Because she was good at her place of work, she was always having tips. Now, here's the thing that shocked me and turned my narrative. That's when I began to review my expenditure. At the end of her 6 months, she had saved 240,000 naira.
Oh, okay.
Bear in mind, she was earning 40,000 naira. Good. So, but she made it a point of duty to save all that came in. Now, here's the shocker. For my siblings, my mom had invested in us. So she had bought properties for us back home and had given us the land and said, okay, decide to do whatever with what you feel. I just decided to plant cassava and plantain on mine. I was a very lazy investor. Just put it up there. So when they harvest, I just take a little and I went back home. But she, after that time, 2 things happened. Don't forget, I said she was on IT. She now went back home. She dug 3 fish ponds in her land.
Oh, wow.
She paid for her final year school fees, so she didn't get money from my parents. And voila. So I looked back and I was like, wow. That's my younger sister.
That was very challenging.
Yes, I was earning more than her. I was living in a I was living in a 1-bedroom at the time, very comfortable. I was living large, but I was empty. I take another example. My mom came down here for a women conference. There's a women conference for women in business and pastors. She was there over the weekend. So after the conference, she attended an event, and she said to me in her dialect, oh, everybody here looks prim and proper, so well dressed and expensive. I said, really? She said, I'm a people here, they have a lot of money. Oh. I now smiled. I said to her, and I pointed. I said, this young lady wearing this, I added 20,000 naira for her rent. Her rent was due. This person, that phone, she's earning 20,000 for my mom was, at the time, my mom was now shocked. So she just said in pidgin, that means all the money where they make, they wear it all over themselves. But that stuck on me. When we say women who want to be empowered, it's now left for us to decide what exactly do we want in the next 5-10 years.
Yes.
What do we want? The tariff on our electrical bill is going.
The
dollar keeps growing beautifully well, like a fertilized plant. So, and these things will keep happening. So how then can we attain financial independence?
And I think it comes with financial literacy. You know, we are very, very good at blaming the government. And I'm not here to talk about the government and what they are supposed to do. Now, I'm talking about myself as a woman. You as a woman, what can I do to cushion this effect? Have I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not talking about me as best.
Yeah.
Just saying randomly, like I'm doing a side hustle, an online gig, and things like that. So it comes with first being deliberate.
That's
Two,
true.
planning. You have to know, like you said, what is your vision of yourself. You have to know, okay, this is what I plan to do. For example, me last year, I said, okay, this is how much is coming in. What should I now be doing? What is the goal for this year? The goal for this year, I said, okay, but you don't have a property. Why not invest in one?
Fantastic.
And that became my goal. So when I get my pay from wherever source is coming from, I'm looking towards, this is my goal. So it doesn't matter. I don't do like, oh, I'm going to spend 50% and save 50%. No. I'm more like, can I cost down on something? I've always said something that would outlive me. Something that would outlive me. So to do that and also challenge myself and be like, okay, considering the hands that were dealt me, I was able to achieve this. And you know one thing with achieving goals, setting goals, bite-sized goals, when you achieve that particular goal, you have grown out of that level. You're now focusing on the next step. So that's what. Welcome back to Empower Her, a haven for women who are in charge or want to take charge of their lives. And as I said before, we are going to talk about the power of the mind and thoughts today. And what better way to do that than by doing a simple activity or exercise that with yourself or with others. All you need is a pen and paper or your phone or laptop. Are you ready? Okay, here's what I want you to do. Write down a negative thought that you have about yourself or your situation right now. It could be something like, I am not good in. Whatever it is that's bothering you or limiting you right now, write it down. Don't worry, no one is going to say it, only you. Are you done? Okay, now look at what you wrote and ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it not true because it is based on your perception or opinion, not on fact or evidence? It is not helpful because it's making you feel bad or stressed or hopeless. It's not empowering because it's keeping you from taking action or trying new things or reaching for your goals. And it's not serving you because it's preventing you from living your best life and being your best self. Change our clothes, our hair, our mood. We have the power to choose what we want to think and how we think. And by changing our thoughts, we can change our feelings, our actions, and our results. So now, let's try this. Take another pen or paper or your device and write down a positive thought that contradicts or replaces the negative one you previously wrote. For example, if you wrote, I am not good enough, now you can write, I am good enough. If you wrote, I can't do this, now you can write, I can do this. If you wrote, I don't have enough money, you can now write, I have more than enough money. If you wrote, I am too old, you can write, I am the perfect age. If you wrote, I am too fat, you can write, I love my body. If you wrote, I am not smart enough, you can now write, I am smart enough. You get the idea, right? Write down a positive thought that makes you feel good, confident, hopeful, and motivated. I'll give you a minute. Done? Okay. How does it affect your reality? I bet you feel much better, right? You feel more positive, more optimistic, more energized, more inspired. You want to act in ways that support these thoughts, that prove it right, that make it happen. You want to see your reality in a different light and with more possibilities, more opportunities, more solutions. You see how powerful this is? By changing your thoughts from negative to positive, you change your reality from negative to positive. And you can do this with any thoughts, anytime, in any and thought. This is the power you have within you. And this is the power that we are going to explore in this episode. But before we do that, let's take another short break, and when we come back, we'll talk to our guest, the Talk Doctor. She will share with us her insights and expertise on how to master our thoughts and transform our lives and businesses. So stay tuned. Many thanks for staying with us. This is still Empower Her, the program where we discuss anything and everything woman. And today, we have been talking about the power of the mind and thoughts. And I'm very excited to introduce our guest for today, Mrs. Emanuela Omachi, aka the Thoughts Doctor. She is a licensed practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, a transformational life coach, speaker, trainer, people developer, and encourager. She is passionate about a mission to raise intentional thinkers. For a man, or in this case, a woman, supposed to master their thoughts and transform their lives and businesses. She is the go-to coach before you start up your business. She has helped several business visionaries stay on and attain their visions. She also helps them focus inward for the success of their businesses. She facilitated training on thought mastery for profit and non-profit organizations to provide holistic support for intending parents. She's also a wife and a mother of 2 beautiful children. Mrs. Emanuela Omachi, welcome. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you look very good too.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. How is Lagos today?
Lagos is very good, but today is hot.
Oh, as opposed to here, the weather is pretty cold. You know, I'm really excited to have you on the show today because I've followed you for a while, and the kind of things you talk about are things that I feel that we should bring out. Not something you wake up one day and you do. It's a process, and you have to be dedicated and very intentional about it before you are able to attain this level of to get to the point where you say, yes, I have completely taken control of my mind and of my thoughts. But before we get into all of that, I really want to ask, for those who are not familiar with the term, what is NLP? What does it mean?
It's a programming. It's a way. It's just like how you would program any computer system. For instance, how do you program your mind? Right? What do you use? What are the tools that you use? And a lot of times we do not realize it that when we speak, we are actually programming ourselves.
Oh wow!
All of us ourselves about life, about people. That's a totality of what we have become, right? What we have repeatedly heard about life, about people. When in NLP, we are like we talk about being very intentional about how you speak, so that you can adequately form the right beliefs, just things that empower you really.
Still talking about the NLP, how did you discover this? How did you discover NLP, and what motivated you to pursue it as a career?
Oh, you know, you had said it before. I have a banking background.
Yes.
But I realized that there are things that come to you naturally. There are things that come to you naturally.
Yes.
And to better yourself in those areas, it is important that I had to go acquire those trainings, you know, so that I can do my job better.
Okay. Now, this is something I am curious about, and I know that my viewers out there are also curious about this as well. You know that we as human beings, we all have these limiting beliefs, a new line of job, and how you have helped people, because I know I do have some thoughts like that. Like, how have you helped people, especially ladies, to realize that, okay, this is, I know that you grew up thinking this, I know that you are used to thinking this or believing this, but this is what it is, and you can actually help yourself, and you also help them to think differently or take a different path.
All right. So one of the things that just came to my mind as you asked this a lot.
Yeah, I want to say that would be the most common.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the funny thing about taking on that kind of belief. What we don't realize is that our beliefs are like ceilings. You know, the ceiling of a building. That's what your belief is.
Yeah.
You will only operate within it. So for a young lady, for instance, who has come to believe that people do not like her, what happens is that because she has accepted that, she begins to act in a way that would actually cause people not to like
To
her.
like her, yeah. I think that makes sense because giving up the nasty attitude, nasty vibe that will in turn cause you to start disliking me.
Yes, exactly. So, and that's why it's important that you question whatever it is that you have believed. Say, people do not like me. Really? Can we put a number to it? Who are these people?
Yo, okay.
Right? If you begin to question that belief, to say, I'm friendly with this, and by the time you begin to question the belief, what you find out that sometimes it's not true.
It's not true.
But
And I,
because it's something, a thought that you have accepted as true, it has dictated how you have lived your life.
and I also wanted to add for the people don't like me believe. If you think that people don't like you, instead of like taking it on and saying, yeah, people don't like me, so I don't care about them because they obviously don't care about me. Can you also ask yourself, why is it that people don't like me? Or why is it that I think that people don't like me? If it's a nasty attitude I give out or a vibe I give out, or likable person.
That's
And that
exactly the
also,
truth.
yes,
Yes, you know that sometimes it's not really about you, and that's what we also need to understand. That
yes,
every time somebody acts, or so sometimes it's really not
it's not
about you.
about you.
You can see me and just make assumptions. Why is she looking like that? Why is she fine? Why is she? And you begin
Yeah,
to ask several questions that I have no idea that you're asking.
yes,
And as a result of, do not know that that's what happens to people. Because I do not know that people would always act from the point of what is going on with them, I can make a conclusion and say that, oh, she doesn't like me. Whereas it had nothing to do with me. She was just going through a bad day or something just happened. And
yes,
unfortunately, I was the first person that came to her. And that's it. Or I represent God with an attitude that has nothing to do with me. So I would always ask people to question the belief. Question it. How? When did I start believing this thing? When did it start? Why do I believe it? Actually see if what you believe is the truth or if it's just something that you have just assumed to be true.
yeah. Okay,
That's
let us
why
now
we're
bring
going
that
to
back home to intentional. Let us bring that back home to intentional thinking. Now, I know you as somebody who is very, very passionate about intentional thinking, and you go as far as being called the thoughts doctor. I love that name, by the way, the thoughts doctor.
Thank
Like we
you.
have medical doctor, doctor of this one, but you are the thoughts doctor. Okay, now how
Yeah.
can you really tell people, okay, this is what intentional thinking is. This is how you can take control of your mind intentionally. I know we've talked about questioning every belief you have. Why do I believe this? Why do I know we've talked about is something that people have to be intentional about as well in practicing.
Okay, so for you to be intentional about something, it means that you have to think about the thing beforehand.
Yes.
Intentional, and actually, a lot of us, or all of us, are a product of our upbringing.
Mm,
And the people of influence, I like to call them influencers, just as we have social media influencers.
yeah.
Everybody had an influence,
Yes.
right? So for children, what we see is that they tend to pick up the beliefs of whoever their influencers are, and it forms an opinion and it forms a belief. So for you to be an intentional thinker, it means that you have to people. How do I want to think about people?
Oh.
How do I want to think about life? How do I want to think about God? How do I want to think about the world? Those are the quarrels that I always say. You have to be very clear what you want to think about it. Your goal is to think in a way that empowers you.
Yes. Yes.
That's the goal. So every thought that you decide to take on, the question is, Does this thought dwell with people? Does this thought help me in my relationship with God, with my relationship with the world?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the question at every point is, does this thought an empowering thought?
Yes.
Because it does not help you. It does not help your interpersonal relation skills. It does not even help. It puts you in a bad place, even with people.
Yes.
Right?
It also limits
So
you how far you can go, because when we want to bring this closer back home and say, okay, now we are looking at how positive thinking can also help you as a business owner, help you as somebody who is pursuing a career. Now, if you go about thinking, this business I've already heard, they did not tell me before I started that this business is like, who am I to be different? You know, so when you also bring that back home, that's also a conversation that we need to have. How intentional thinking does not just affect your life as a person, but it also affects your business, your relationship, both your romantic relationship, your family, and of course we've talked about your relationship.
It influences every area of your life. Every area. You see it. Because I would always say, if you want to know the nature of your thought in a particular area, check your experiences that you have taken on. It will always show. Your experiences are the best way to test, to find out. As a business owner, for instance, I have people who are in the same business with me. The truth is that experience is often individualistic, regardless of the business.
Yeah.
Because you would see that 1,001 people are in the same business, but they are operating it on different levels.
Yeah.
And what determines the level to which they operate the business is based on what's going on in their head.
Mm-hmm.
So a business owner comes and says, this our Nigeria, nobody is buying anything. Things are so hard. What?
And it will surprise you that somebody else in the exact same business as you is steadily selling, steadily cashing out and growing, opening up many branches, and you're not asking, what's the difference between what that person is doing and what I'm doing?
Yes, so basically what is often different is the nature of their thoughts.
Yes.
Right. That's usually so. Somebody approaches her business by saying, I have enough customers that I require. Customers are not scarce. So knowing that, it affects how you approach your business. It affects what
Yes,
you
I
do
was
on
also
daily
going to
basis.
say that. I was also going to say that because now if I am running a business and in my mind I'm thinking, this business doesn't have as much customers as it should have. Now I find that I end up buying maybe small quantity of goods, this one, because I now it's just like walking into a convenience store. You see that you walk into this convenience store all in the same street, and you want to buy this one today, they don't have it. You want to buy this one today, they don't have it. You want to buy, and then you end up going to the other store of the other person who sells all of these things, because this person already believes, I have customers. Everybody in this street, they come to this shop to buy something. So even though you guys are running the exact same business, and in fact, you would have had a better opportunity since you are close, I'm always going to sell. And you are thinking, at the end of the day, they will still go to this woman to buy. So what is the point? Why should I bother? I'll just buy these things and they will expire in my hand. So I shouldn't even bother.
I totally agree with you. So that's why I said that the extent how you fare in a business is solely based on you. It really doesn't, it's always about you. Let me give you an instance.
Okay.
I know a young lady who is into what do they call this business now? She sells shoes and bags.
Okay.
And every quarter she has a target of the number of businesses or items that she has to sell. So in conversing, she's not saying like at the end of the quarter, at the end of March, for instance, I should have sold this number of shoes, this number of bags, and that's her driving for.
And she has
so
a clear
every day
vision.
she shows up. Every day she shows up. All she's trying to do is to convince you to buy. That's all that is, and that's all she's interested in. I remember when she started the business. So when I see, if you would always see what somebody is thinking, as I said to you earlier, you would always see what someone is thinking about based
by
on
their
their
output.
experience.
Yeah.
You would always, is that we tend to follow on other people's experience. What do I mean by that? In the time like this, somebody says, "Oh, Nigeria is very hard. Nigeria is so terrible. Things are so hard. Things are so hard." Some conversation within our network, we tend to borrow it. We tend to speak like that. Right. Remember that when I started, I said a lot of us, we don't understand how we program ourselves using our words.
Yes. Which is why I've always said that as important as it is to mind your friend in your circle, and you're talking and the person keeps saying Nigeria is so bad, Nigeria is so bad. Now, this is something you are now taking in. If you are not intentional about the circle you keep, the things you allow to enter your mind, you end up believing it. Nigeria is so bad and nothing can ever work for me. But it's also important to know who is listening to you. Because now, if you have an empowered woman next to you and you're saying Nigeria is so bad, person will be like, Nigeria is so bad, but it doesn't have to be the case for you. Now, count your blessings. Count your blessings and you say that you're not living the reality of Nigeria is so bad.
So let me give you an instance. I was fitness and health sector. And she went on to say, "Ella, I don't understand. This country, that one, please, I don't know how I'm going to cope with doing business in Nigeria." And I listened. I just want to corroborate what she was saying. I said, because you never sound this way. You never speak like this. So why are you sounding this way? And she was taken aback. And she was like, what do I mean? I said, you have never spoken about your business and about Nigeria in this way. She called me back to say, "Oh, yes, I get where that came from. Oh, I just had a conversation with someone a couple of minutes before we spoke, and that's exactly how she sounded." Remember that I had said you need to question. If you do not question, you will accept it as true. Whereas,
if you start working, you wear many hats. You are a trainer, you are a coach, you are a speaker. Then you have your own businesses that you are running in the background, and then you are still a mother and a wife. How do you fit into all of these roles seamlessly? Because anytime I look at you, you seem like you have it all in control. You have it all figured out. You are bossing this woman thing. I said that, you know, all women are women, but some seem to be more women than other women. You are living it. Like, you wake up every day, you boss all of these roles. Like, what is the secret? What is it that we don't know that you know? Yes.
And to also know that we will get help, as many help as we can. And some of these things don't happen all on the same day. I'm speaking here, I'm on this show right now. I'm not training, I'm not coaching, I'm not counseling. Right? So yes, it's possible to wear all the hats. You get the help that you require, and you also know that it's per time. The one that you require to do per time, you do it per time. That's exactly what I would say.
Okay, so you take each goal at the one after the other. You take this one as they are coming and all of that. And I think that's also good, so you don't get overwhelmed when you look at, I have to do this, I have to do that. At the end of the day, you might just overwork your mind, and you find that, and the thing is that when your mind is weak, you find that your body cannot even move. You just see yourself, you are there. You don't even know where to start from because you are overwhelmed.
Everything that we do, every action that we take proceeds from our thoughts. It's what goes on in the inside that governs any action that you see on the outside. That's it. So even the feeling of being overwhelmed is a result of pre-feeling, is a product of a thought.
Yeah.
So if you feel overwhelmed, for instance, and you take the seat back and say, "Oh, why am I really feeling overwhelmed? What's going on?" And you would see that, oh, I think that I have so many things to do. To do all of them at the same time.
Yes.
So it's a combination of these thoughts that is producing the feeling.
Yes, that's why you are overwhelmed. You know, I really had a wonderful time with you on the show, ma'am. And I'm looking forward to having you again. And unfortunately, this is as much as we can take today. But before we round up, you know, I believe that there are many goals you have, many more goals for the young ladies listening out there.
You know that for every woman, right? Since we're doing empower her, one of the ways that you can empower yourself is how you feel about your body. And how you feel about your body is a product of how you think about yourself and how you think about your body. So, my goal, one of the goals I would like to share is my fitness goal. Yes, it's my fitness goal. So I know that for everybody, everything you see on the outside started first with what you are thinking about. Everything you see on the outside started with what you're thinking. Again, whatever you believe, you accept as true, because that will determine the experiences that you will have. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ma. It was a pleasure having you today on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow, what an amazing conversation we have had today. Thank you so much. I learned so much from you, and I'm sure our audience did too. You are truly an inspiration and an example of how to use the power of the mind and thought to create a better reality for oneself and others. Thank you again for being here, and thank you, my dear audience, for watching this episode of Empower Her. I hope you have been impacted as much as I have been. I hope you have learned something new and valuable that will help you in your personal and professional life. I hope you feel empowered and motivated to change your mindset and change your reality. Remember, you can only go as far as your mind lets you. So let your mind go very far. Doctors, your challenges. Let it go towards your dreams, goals, aspiration, and opportunities. Let it go towards positivity, happiness, success, and fulfillment. You have the power to do all of that. You have the power to use your mind and your thought. Use it, and use it wisely. Use it well. Use it now. And don't forget to share with us your feedback, your comments, your questions on my personal social media platforms at Best Nwachinemere, and send me your messages or stories of how you change your reality and your mindset. I would totally love to hear from you. And of course, if you want us to keep your identity anonymous, yes, we can also do that. And that's all for today's episode of Empower Her. Thank you again for joining me today. I will see you next week with another exciting topic and guest that will empower you to live your best